things that we're going to talk about. First of all, it's like really exciting to have you here.
So excited to be here.
I really want to share the significance of this woman right here because she has literally made an impact in my life, like a huge impact. So, many of you guys know that being in Topeka, the journey to getting here was very like uneasy, right?
Right.
The transition into Advisors Excel was not easy. And so it was like, I think the first week I worked at AE, she literally like swooped me in and said, like, hey, like I made your whole entire itinerary. Um, we have like this thing called Rockstar Academy. And so typically it's a great week for those who are just joining AE to like learn about the company, a whole company overview. And then you kind of have like your second department overview.
Right.
And so I met Denise through just like the transition and all of that. We went to lunch together. And when I say like you literally swooped me in, like from the very beginning, we've been like close ever since.
Agreed. I know. You are one of the best people I've ever met. You bring out the best of everybody around you.
Thank you.
You're
Oh
welcome.
my gosh. Okay, so I don't even know like where to start, but where we're gonna start is one, I want you to know that like you are such an powerful, like impactful woman. You run corporate in our AE
Mhm.
company right now, but not even that, you have stepped out and started your own business.
Yes.
And so I want to get into your business, how you came about that. But first, like, let us know who you are, where you're
Yeah.
from, a little
Yeah.
bit about you.
Yes. So Denise Hanson, I was born and raised in a small town in the Midwest, youngest of four. Came from a very like hardworking family where hard work was always talked about and praised and admired. And using that grit and determination and work ethic really got me to where I am today. I graduated from college. I didn't have a marketing degree. I didn't have any kind of specialty degree, and I moved here to Topeka where my brother happened to place my resume on HR's desk of the company we work at, Advisors Excel, and the rest is history. I mean, I love where I work. I love what I do. I love the atmosphere and the culture of Advisors Excel, and I really looked at what the career or what the company does and where I wanted to go, and I blazed that path for myself.
You have. And remind me, how long have you been at AE?
It's been 11 years.
11 years.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes, and in that 11 years, I have learned so much, and really, I have just taken everything that I've learned and I've packaged it up and poured into other women. I have
Mhm,
loved helping other women succeed in their
mhm,
careers, which is what drew me to you. I
mm,
wanted to help you. I knew you had amazingness inside of you, and it kills me when I see women who are feeling down or
mhm.
feel like they can't do it or they can't make it or they don't have the confidence. So, helping women through those obstacles in their careers is
Oh,
what really like lights my heart on fire.
yeah. And that's honestly like what I love about Denise is that like her whole business is focused on really trying to help women in the workplace
Mhm.
really like navigate to a sense of like ownership and leadership
Yes.
wherever they're working, wherever they're located.
Yeah.
And so I think it really just ties into even like I said, the we don't have to have a series to talk about this. So when we said like let's do a podcast together, like we really need to talk about this because I think there's a lot of women that are trying to manage and figure out how do I kind of in a sense be myself, my
Mhm.
authentic self,
Yep.
um, in a space where maybe sometimes I feel small. Maybe
Right.
sometimes I feel like, I don't know how to navigate this space because it's foreign. And I
Right.
told you, like, I think when I first started at AE, I felt so comfortable coming to you
Yeah.
because you made me feel safe in a
Right.
space where I felt like, I don't know, like, what they're saying here. Like,
Right.
we're talking about finances and retirement, and like, I feel like I'm too young. And constantly you would remind me,
Right.
like, no, you were more than capable.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm getting ahead of myself, but I just like, we talk about this all the time, and I feel like it aligns perfectly with anyone who's out there trying to overcome any battle of trying to figure out who they are in the
Mhm.
workplace and trying to feel um, empowered there.
Right.
So I want people to really know, like, the backbone you have, and so I want you to kinda navigate us down, um, the roadway of, like, bring up a time where you were trying to overcome something in the workplace and kind of, like, how did that lead you to your business?
Mhm, mhm. So many layers in the workforce for women.
Yeah,
Women are taught to, work like they don't have a personal life and have a
mhm,
personal life like they don't work, and,
that's good.
there's so many layers to it. I would say, like, the biggest challenge for me that has gotten me to launching this business is that I work at one of the best companies in the world. I
Mhm,
feel like they empower people
yeah,
and they allow you to be who you want to be. And I had gone through something that just really like shook me up in a way that I'd never been before. And I was feeling so low about it and I didn't know why and I didn't know how to get past it. And finding a professional coach to help me get through it,
mhm,
um, inspired me to help other women too.
yeah.
Because if I'm a confident person, if I have felt like I have a successful career and a successful personal life, think of all the other women in this world that we live in who are probably struggling and need help and guidance. And that is what has made me go full on my business.
Okay, so I know we didn't mention it yet, but your business is She Can
Mhm.
Own Her
Yes.
Day.
Yes.
Tell
Yes.
us more about it, where it came from, what
Yes.
really, like, inspired you to come up with, like, that name.
Yes, yes. So for me, going back to just like my roots and who I am, it's always been about I can do anything. And when I got into this corporate environment, um, I started an entry level position. I knew nothing about the company I
Mhm.
that I worked for. Like you said, finances, retirement. That's very daunting. That's very
Yeah,
overwhelming.
yeah,
And I just took it and ran with it. Became a sponge. I learned everything I could. I
mhm,
found the mentors. I networked. I found the friends, the people I could rub shoulders with. Built this network, built this community. Um, Signed up for all of the classes, the courses, and put myself out there in a way that I'd never done before,
mhm.
and I know what it takes. I know what it takes to rise and to grow and to become what you want. Um, and and this isn't a company that's like men against women. Men
Right,
have their own problems in the workforce that I
mhm,
can't speak to,
right,
but I know what women go through and I
mhm,
know the struggles they encounter of,
mhm,
not feeling good enough, not feeling worthy, tying maybe
definitely.
like a salary to their worth, their
Yeah,
self-worth, trying to navigate the politics in the office and
mhm,
really it's all about like if I can do it, she can do it.
right.
And I'm living proof that all women can have the success that they desire.
Wow, that's good. That's really, really good. I think you said so much there that I think um can resonate with a lot of women. Like you mentioned, trying to be in a space where you are in a male dominated workplace.
Right.
That's very hard for women to showcase that, like, I belong here.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so I think there's a lot of women. I mean, if you even think about society, in a
Yeah.
sense, people always say, like, it's a man's world.
Sure.
You know what I mean? And so, like, you go to a workplace and you mentioned earlier that you put yourself out there.
Mhm.
You know, like when you first get there, you're like, you have all this desire. You're like, okay, I'm here, I'm
Yeah.
ready. And then next thing you know, like a challenge comes
Yep.
or a disappointment comes.
Right.
And it's like, it's almost as if everything crumbles. And I feel like I was in that space when I
Right.
came to you and said, like, I was really excited to be here.
Right. Right.
And then when I experienced something
Yep.
that kind of really took me back, I'm like, "How do I navigate through this?"
And you're absolutely not alone. That is a normal feeling. It happens to everybody,
Mhm.
men and women. Women get pegged a lot with being on an emotional roller coaster
Yep.
and saying they can't handle their emotions and that, people can confuse emotion with passion. And it's
Mm,
truly figuring out how to use your emotions and how to
yes.
present your value in a way to where people recognize that you do deserve to be at the table
That's
and that
good.
you do have a voice in the office and you do deserve to speak up and you don't need to feel small and you don't need to tie your self-worth to your career. that there is so much more out there, and it's having the confidence to know that I can be who I am in the
Mhm.
office and outside of the office as well.
Mm.
These worlds should not live in two different worlds. They should live together in harmony.
Yeah. I love what you said that you cannot confuse emotion with passion.
Yeah.
And I think that women are known to be emotional.
Right.
Well, first of all, like God created us that way,
Right.
like intentionally, like
For
women
sure.
are meant to feel.
Yep.
And so I don't think that women should feel bad about that.
No, they
And
shouldn't.
so I feel like for you, like you have not only helped coach me through this,
Right.
you've coached many women
Right.
in the workplace where we work currently, and I'm
Yep.
sure outside of AE.
Totally.
And so, like, for you, what was the moment for you to say, you know what, I have to do something about
Hmm.
this?
For me, it was just going back to like the moment I spoke of earlier when I was just so low in my career. I felt like I was letting other people dictate my choices, my world, my emotions, and I just had enough. I had
Mm,
enough of it. And the world moves so fast, work moves so fast that if you don't get a control over like your inner voice and your
mm,
your self-talk, you're gonna get eaten alive.
yeah.
And so knowing that I have the choice that to look at everything as a neutral situation and I get to put the thoughts to it, truly like I look at my career as a blank canvas and color is gonna get splattered up on it and I
Mm,
decide what the color means. I decide what the art means to me, not, oh, so and so was sent me an email and it was very short.
yeah.
Oh, what do I do? Like
Yeah.
no more of that.
Yeah.
And it's all about learning how to think of things in a different way. And
Yeah.
it's a hard thing to do and everyone says like, "Oh, I'm a positive person, I can do that."
Right.
In the moment when you have things flying at you from all
Oh
directions,
my
it can
gosh.
be hard.
It can be hard. And I love that you bring up the whole email thing.
Yeah, yeah, because we live
It's
in a
like,
virtual world.
yes.
Everything is email. Tone
Yeah.
is everything. But
Mhm.
just because somebody can put an email and it's 4 words and it seems short, it doesn't mean we need to like bring
Yeah.
our energy down.
Right. That's
So,
true. I mean,
yeah.
it's very accurate, especially like in a space where we are constantly emailing,
Yep.
Microsoft Teamsing each
Yep.
other. It
Totally.
can be so easy to kind of like take things out of context. You know
Sure.
what I mean? And it's like, well, why did she say it like this? Or why did he say it like this? And it's
Yeah.
like, maybe sometimes go talk to that person
Exactly.
and really figure out like what was their message
Right.
and how they were trying to deliver something.
Yep.
And I think you taught me that to like not take things personally,
Right. Right.
especially in the workplace, because I think sometimes like again, confusing emotion with passion, I think sometimes you do have to learn
Yep.
that certain things should be business
Right.
and certain things like this is an assignment, you were told to do something, do that.
Right.
But it's okay if you bring your passion with it,
Mhm.
but make sure you're not confusing that with personal feelings.
Right. Exactly. And it comes down to just like your self-belief. It comes back to
Mhm.
your past experiences
Yeah.
and really figuring all of that out before you step into your role so
Mhm.
you don't get lost in that if you feel like your work environment is toxic, you're
Yeah.
able to see through it.
Okay, keyword toxic. Okay, this is a really good transition here. So, Denise has really taught me a very prominent thing when it comes to taking ownership and leadership in a space where you are not essentially positioned as the leader.
Right.
And so, it's like, what advice do you have for women who may feel small or who may feel like their role in their team is not essentially a written on paper? You're not a manager, you're not
Right.
a leader, but you can still lead from where you
Oh,
are.
absolutely you can. I was not a leader. I've been the director of corporate marketing now for the last 5 years, but before that, I was not a leader by any means, but starting from the beginning of my career when I was at an entry level position, I got to work every day
Mhm.
by 8 o'clock and I printed everything off that we had to accomplish that day.
Mm,
Wasn't in my job description, it wasn't a requirement, but
mm,
I did it. I was leading by example. I was leading the team. There are ways for you to find that are aligned with like your energy and what you love to do
mhm,
and applying it in your role. It's just going deep inside of you and figuring it out. Um, it's also seeing that managers and directors and bosses and founders, everything,
mhm.
executives, like they're just people. They're not supposed to be on this crazy untouchable pedestal. They have weaknesses too.
Yeah,
They're not good at everything. They need your help.
yeah,
They need you to help them be the best. A
yeah,
lot of managers will hire for their weaknesses and it's plugging those holes for them. You can lead through that way.
yeah.
And that's one thing that I love to help women understand and discover is that just because you have a flaw or a weakness or you feel like you're not good in a certain area,
Yeah.
for every small thing or everything you think you're bad at, you
Mhm.
probably have like 50 million other amazing things
Yep.
about you that you can bring into the workforce to rise and to stand out and
Mhm.
truly like own the space you're in. And
Yes.
that's what I did. I mean, I was not qualified. I didn't probably on paper deserve to be the director of corporate marketing for our company. I mean, this is
Yeah.
like a huge company that relies on marketing and campaigns and,
Yes. It's a
um,
huge role.
it is, and
Yeah.
I took a chance and I took everything that I had learned up into that moment and just gave it my all, and again, it doesn't really come down to, like, your skill, it comes
Mhm.
down to
Mhm.
what makes you passionate, what makes you come to work and really
Yes.
love being at work,
Mhm.
and bringing that into your current role, and
Yeah.
whatever it is, like, we can find it, and we can find a way to,
Yes.
put it all out there, so
Yes.
you do find, like, that fulfillment and that accomplishment, and you do stand out because you're working on things that, like, light you up.
Mhm.
You're happier at work that way.
Gosh. Oh, okay. I love what you said because you literally reiterated this to me like almost all the time. You said you have to own the space you're in.
Mhm.
Like literally.
That's why the tagline for my company is "Own your day."
Yes. Like you have to own your space.
Yeah,
And so I think that's like so critical for women or anyone out there who just may feel like, again, discouraged because they may feel like, I'm not big enough in my role or
right.
I'm not in a manager position or a leadership role. But it's like you can really serve big where
Yeah,
you are. And even talking about
absolutely.
like your passion, like I had to learn, like, how can I create in my space,
Mhm.
even though it may feel as if like I don't have all of the permission to do so.
Right.
It's like we have to really also to consider you know being open-minded, right? Like,
Totally.
you can't shut down your ideas, like, immediately if
Right.
you haven't, like, talked to your manager about it.
Yeah.
I mean, literally, first idea came to mind, and the next thing you know, a whole student media day is, like, created.
Yeah.
So it's just, like, whatever ideas you have, like, don't be afraid to bring them to the table.
Absolutely, and don't be afraid if those ideas don't get used,
Mhm.
because
Yep.
it's setting that aside and knowing that when what you're bringing to the table, it may not get used right away, but you would regret not doing it, you'd regret not saying it, and if even if it doesn't get used that day, it could get used in 3, 4 months. So
Mhm.
it's not being afraid to use your voice and talk about what's on your mind and share
Yeah.
it with your team.
Yeah. I love
Absolutely
that.
do that. Yeah.
Okay, so She Can was created in this space of you having a full-time job,
Yep,
you're a full-time mom,
totally.
I mean, full-time wife.
Yep,
That's
yep,
a whole thing, okay? Talk to me about, like, how are you doing it?
yeah,
And then, like, give advice to people who can do it too.
yeah. So, when I started She Can, I knew I needed help.
Mhm.
I knew I probably didn't have a huge investment to put into it.
Yeah.
I found a business coach. I found someone to show me the way, to show me the shortcuts to take, where to put my money, where to reach people, how
Mhm.
to help people, how to structure everything so they get the best experience possible. And to me, like, that is one of the keys to just everything in life,
Mhm.
whether it's career, being a mother, being a wife, is finding someone who's gone before you and
Mhm.
asking them for help, asking them to show you how to do it. Um, and it's okay to not know the answers to something.
Mhm.
It's okay to go slow. It's okay to take a day off.
Yeah.
I mean, that goes for your career too. Like, take go at your pace that you know you can do it and we won't burn out.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, truly just asking for help and finding a mentor, finding somebody
Yeah.
who can help you navigate it all, prioritize it all, everything.
Yeah. I just wanna say that, like, I'm truly inspired and, like, so proud of you because you're such a go-getter,
Yeah,
like, Denise, like, and I'm so serious, like, not just saying this
I know.
because we're recording, but, like, I mean, seriously, there is a fire inside of you that is powerful.
Yeah,
Because, like, when you see something, like, you go get it,
yeah,
and, like, you're not afraid,
right,
and you go all in,
right.
and I feel like that has literally rubbed off on me
Yeah.
to where it's like, okay, if I'm gonna go do something, like, go all in and do it with excellence, and I
Well,
just
and
love
that's
it.
that's the importance of surrounding yourself with the right people.
Mm,
And when you rub shoulders with the right people and
yeah,
you're around, like that old saying, show me your 7 friends, I'll show you your future.
yeah,
And so really being cognizant of who's around you. And I choose very carefully who I give my time and energy to
yep,
and who I invest everything into,
yep,
including my relationships. I am who I am because of the people around me.
yeah.
They inspire me every day too to get better. Like, yes, I'm a go-getter, but I'm also a go-getter of going to the couch and laying down. Like, it's a
I'm a
balance.
queen of
Yeah, I
relaxing.
am, and it's a
Yes.
balance, and, I do. I love to see success, whatever your
Mm,
definition is, it's
yeah,
possible, it's within reach, and whatever you think success is, it's
mm,
always more than that,
yeah.
and there's always more to get.
Yeah. Literally my girlfriend said something the other day that like you're never going to be satisfied until you tell yourself I'm satisfied
Yep,
because like you said there's always another level of success
there is.
after success. So like you reach a point, so be happy with it.
Yeah,
Don't think that like oh I got to do more, I got to reach for more. Like
right.
that's going to come. Like just
Yeah.
be where you are.
Be where your
Like
feet are,
yeah.
and that's also something that I feel a lot of women do struggle with is
Mm,
just, "Yes, I'm a mother. Yes, I'm a wife. Yes, I'm a friend, a sister. I'm a member of the community. I
mm,
I am a passionate worker. I'm a
God.
passionate business owner," but it's being grounded and knowing, like, anchoring yourself to where you're at in the moment, and, I don't have work email on my phone. I don't have Teams on my phone
Mm,
because when I'm at home, I wanna be at home.
yeah.
I love to recharge and then come back, and,
Yeah.
a lot of people feel like that guilt around it or like they can't do it, and, um, it took me a while to get there, but it's worth it to just let it go, like,
Mm.
find the balance.
Yeah. And I just love that you're passionate to help other women
Yeah.
and kind of share like where does that passion come from? And maybe it was like sometimes you see like your clients and you're like,
Mhm.
I see myself
Yeah.
and I want to help them.
I'll never forget, there was a moment in my career, um where I was the worker bee. And
Mm,
this isn't against anybody, but I was the turning and burning,
yeah.
getting the task done, answering the phone call, responding to I constantly had 100 emails in my inbox, just going, 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 going.
Yeah.
And my boss, and I hope she's watching this at the time, came up to me and I can't remember exactly what she said, but I just broke down at my
Mm,
desk. It's 5:15, I'm still there,
yeah.
and I'm just in tears. I'm tired, I'm exhausted, I can't
Wow.
keep up, I feel like I'm failing.
Yeah.
I was emotionally drained. I wanted to give up and I wanted to walk out. And she grabbed me and we didn't have a conference room, I don't know why, but we went into a closet, the a closet at work, and she just sat down and we talked, and I told her that I want to go home. I'm tired.
Mm,
I'm tired of being on emails. My son had a surgery done, and I'm taking a phone call from a client at the time, and I'm just like, this is not me. This is not what I signed up for.
yeah.
I put so much worth on the amount of tasks that I did,
Yeah.
and I equated that if I get 50 million tasks done, I'm gonna make way more money, and that's just not how it works, and,
Wow.
um, it was with that boss that really helped me, like, shift my perspective and change how I was doing things and to know that work will always be there.
Hmm.
You're going to have 70 emails some days,
Yeah.
you're gonna have 40 some days. Enjoy the highs, ride the lows,
Yeah.
and turn it off and come back because it's always going to be there. And if you let it consume you and beat you
Mm,
down, you're gonna be in this trap that I was.
yeah.
And from that moment on, that happened maybe like 8 years ago, and I've never done it again. I've
Wow.
never worked past 5. I don't come in before 8. But I will give you a hard 8 to 5, but
Yeah.
I need to go be with what fills my cup up when I leave.
Wow. That's really, really good. I mean, I loved how you gave an example of, separating work and home.
Mhm.
And I'm gonna be honest, I am working on trying to do that right now because maybe I'm in a space of like, um, trying to build and trying to, create and things like that. But I have gotten better as far as like again, whatever happens from 8 to 5, like, leave it at that, and then
Absolutely.
trying to go home and still create and work, but still finding a balance, like, me and Michael, we're gonna have fun, and
Mhm.
then we're gonna also work too.
Mhm.
And so I think that sometimes women have a hard time in, like, separating the 2. Maybe because, like, we feel a sense of, like, failure and,
Yeah.
like, I don't want to, leave something out. I don't want people to think less than, but it's like, how can we make sure that we are confident in knowing
Mhm.
that, like, hey, you're going to be okay
Yeah.
by, like, separating the 2? And then, like, even thinking about, like, confidence in a
Mhm.
sense. I think, like, women are finding a challenge in that. I
Mhm.
know when I first started transitioning,
Right.
it was hard. It was super hard for me to find confidence in a role that I have, like, no idea how to do.
Mhm.
So it's like for you, I know you've helped me with that. You've
Mhm.
helped other clients with that. So it's like, what advice do you have for women to make sure they can understand how to be confident in leaving things at home and leaving things at work?
Mhm. Mhm. This is a real issue that lots and lots of people struggle with, and we live in a culture and a society of hustle and
Mhm.
do more, do more, do more.
Yes.
And that is a hard mentality to break. I love a good hustle. I love a good grind and
Mhm.
working hard.
Yeah.
But it's a healthy grind and it's a know when to turn it off and when to turn it on.
Yeah.
And women struggle with this because they are seeking, validation from external things.
That's the word.
They're seeking it from
Yep.
their paycheck, they're seeking it from their boss, they're seeking it from their spouse, they're seeking it from a coworker, a teammate, anything. But
Yeah.
looking for praise and kudos and um, the validation that you are doing the right thing, it's not going to get you anywhere because the
Mhm.
higher you move up in an organization, the less you're going to get it.
Yeah.
And you have got to realize that to feel pride in your work and to be able to feel confident that I can leave this here, I can
Yeah.
step out this door, I can unwind on my car ride home, my walk home, my commute home, um, and get
Mhm.
into my next mode.
Yeah.
Um, Feeling that validation from yourself.
Mm.
That's how you're gonna get it. That's how you're gonna turn it off.
Yeah.
I had a client who just could not stop working,
Mhm.
couldn't sleep because they
Mm.
were so worried about a task they had to do. And it was why? Like, why do you feel that way? What belief, what experience, trauma happened to you in your life at some point to where you feel like you have to be on all the time?
Mm.
And we dove in, we dug deep, and we realized that, as a child, it was always do more than everybody else,
Yeah.
uh, never do less than what's expected. And I don't think anybody should do that, do less than what's expected. That's not what I'm saying,
Right.
but it's to a certain extent. Like, don't sacrifice yourself
Mhm.
just to get something done,
Right.
because then you'll never leave the office. You'll
Mm.
always be there.
Yeah.
Um, One thing I like to do at the end of every day is to feel that internal accomplishment for myself is just to write down a quick note of a win from that day.
Yeah.
And I think about it and
That's
then I leave.
good.
Yeah, it's just a little quick look at what you've done today,
Yeah.
Denise. I'm not getting it from anybody else. I
Mm-mm.
don't need it from anybody else. Um,
Mm.
Everything around me is a neutral. My paycheck is a neutral feeling. My
Yeah.
boss is a new like his great praise and things like that. But yeah, everyone loves to hear it, but
Yeah.
knowing that you have to find it from within,
Yes.
to truly have, like, that confident feeling, and it's not a skill that it just
Mm-mm.
comes naturally, it's one that you have to cultivate and work on.
Wow, I love that. Okay, so a good reminder to on this podcast is like my mission is to really inform, transform, and support people to where they are to get them to where they want to be. So informing you guys on making sure you are taking like key notes. I love like the win for the day, like
Mhm.
writing down your win for the day. And it's a personal accomplishment that you feel like, okay, I completed a task today. I
Yeah.
completed five.
It could be, "I got out of bed today. I'm here.
That's
I had a
true.
crappy day yesterday. Now
That's
look at me.
true.
I'm here." I mean,
Yeah.
it doesn't have to be this huge, crazy, I solved the
Mm-mm.
world hunger issues, it could just be as simple
I love
as,
that.
"I gave a kudos to another person today," or,
Yeah,
um,
that's
"I
good.
was able to get one email that had been looming in my inbox for days. I was
Mhm.
able to get that done." There's
Yeah.
so many good things in that you do accomplish that you just
Mm.
take for granted and you don't realize.
I like that.
Yeah,
Thanks for sharing. I'm gonna
absolutely.
take that and actually do it.
Do it.
That's really good.
Yeah.
'Cause I think we always focus on, like, what we didn't get done today. I
Yeah.
know I do, like, I'm like, "Oh, I was supposed to do this today. I didn't get that done.
Yeah.
I didn't work out today." And, like, it's
Yeah.
like a constant.
It goes back to this the hustle mentality
Mhm.
that we live in and the do
Yeah.
more, do more, do more, do more, and pretty soon it's just you're living in that nonstop do more
Mhm.
world where you don't
Right.
stop to look back at everything you've done.
Yeah. I love the key word you said earlier, validation.
Mhm.
And I think that's where a lot of people can be sometimes, including myself, where as you're working sometimes you
Mhm.
are seeking a sense of validation from someone, your leader,
Yeah.
your spouse, in whatever you're doing.
Yeah.
And so I think sometimes that is what leads us to disappointment,
Yeah.
is doing things for the result of validation instead
Right.
of doing things for your, like, because it's from your passion.
Right.
And so I think that we have to make sure, like, there's a difference there.
Yeah.
And so it's like, as you're coaching your clients, like, how do you help them boost their confidence towards passion rather than a sense of, like, validation?
Mhm. It's really going into looking at um what you what where do you feel the most fulfillment out of your job? How can you get more out of that? How can
Yeah.
you do more of that? What do you like to do? What do you not like to do? Where do you shine the most? Um, when you strip away the job titles, the everything, the car you
Mm,
drive, the clothes you wear, when you take it all away, it's why does Danielle get to exist in this world?
mm,
Why does she get to be here and what
that's
makes her
good.
great? And it's not the, oh, I'm amazing on camera,
Mhm.
or it's not that I can set up a whole studio.
Mhm.
It's because of who you are in your heart
Mm,
and you love, being on air and bringing people's stories out and
mhm.
highlighting them and that's all the validation you need.
Yeah.
It's what makes you happy and it's
Yeah.
what makes you feel fulfilled and success and during my sessions with my clients we look at that and we talk about those things and
Mhm.
we really get rid of all of the weight that you have around
Mm,
um needing all of the other things in this world,
yeah.
needing all the praise and validation
Yeah.
because you
That's
don't.
good.
It comes from within.
That's a good reminder. And to be honest, like, you're absolutely right. I had to work on removing the title,
Yeah.
a part of who I am,
Yep.
because it's what I do, but it's not like who I am in a
Right.
sense.
Right.
And I know sometimes that can get like
Yeah.
convoluted a little bit. Like it can just get kind of
Right.
blurry.
Yeah.
And like building or trying to combine your title versus like who you are as a person.
Hmm.
And so yeah, that's definitely something I'm working on. And what I love the most, honestly, you guys, is just like having conversations, cuz in case you guys don't know, like I talk to Denise every day. And so like
Yeah.
I feel like even when we do talk and even in spaces like this, I'm learning something
Yeah.
always from you.
Well, and that's what I love about this space that I'm in now and my company that I've created is I get so obsessed with other people's success. I
Yeah.
want to see
Same.
you get to where you want to be and
Yes.
I'm not going to dump you after a couple sessions. I want to form that relationship with you.
Yeah.
I want to hear about it. I want to hear about the bad days, the good days. I want to hear about it all.
Yeah.
So I love that you lean on me.
Yeah, I do. Okay, so I always tell people that, like, as you're overcoming, right, you have to, in a sense, become. Like,
Mhm.
you're leaving the past, you're leaving where you came from. So now you're focusing on your future.
Right.
You're focusing on moving forward. So, like, for you in this space, you're in a whole new season
Mhm.
because you're having a full-time job, you're doing a full-time business,
Right.
and all these other things. And so eventually, like, there's gonna be a time where you go full-time entrepreneurship, and that's gonna be super exciting for
That will
you,
be, yeah.
and I know it's coming. I
Uh
know it's coming. But in the meantime, in this space and where you are today, who would you say Denise is becoming?
Denise is becoming a badass person. No, I mean,
Yes, you are.
I am becoming more selfless. I'm becoming um a person who's here to serve and to help others. Like I'm at the top of the mountain and now I get to
Mm,
look down it and pull other people up with me.
mm,
And I wouldn't be here if someone hadn't looked down at me and grabbed me as well. And That's who I'm becoming. I'm becoming the mentor, the guide, the coach, whatever you want to call it, to help other women get what their definition of success is in their career.
Oh, I love that. I love that. Okay, in case you guys have not followed her on social media, please check her out. I'm going to put her social media handle right here and in the description below. But in the meantime, Denise, I want you to share just a quick, like, a couple tips on self care because you're
Yeah.
always posting self care, and I
Yeah.
love it with your kids and really focusing on work life balance.
Yeah.
So if you can give tips to women on just a few self care tips, what do
Yeah,
you say?
sure. So first off, it's defining your non-negotiables. So what do you like to do? What does recharge you? What does fill you up? For me, it's I'm a mom, I'm a wife, I'm a cat mom. My
Love
friends
her cats.
yeah, my friends joke about they can't plan trips too far away from my house because I get homesick. And
Mhm.
it's so true. I love to be at home. I love to recharge. I love to go on walks around our yard. I love to be out in nature. But don't get me wrong, I love me a good manicure and pedicure. And
Love it.
when I take care of myself, my body,
Yeah.
I feel a lot more I can give to other people. And
That's good.
so yeah, just really knowing what fills me up, which
Mhm.
is, being at home,
Mhm.
getting my hair done.
Yeah,
It makes me feel good.
that's good. I like the non-negotiables
Mhm.
one. Definitely working on that. When to say no.
Yep.
That
Oh,
is a
when to say
very yeah,
no.
when to say no. That's a little difficult, but we are
Yes.
getting there. But in the meantime, if you could drop off like any resources
Sure.
that anyone can kind of pick up. I always like to drop off like a sermon book,
Yeah.
any other resources that can help people become better.
Yeah. Uh, so it really is about protecting your energy.
Mhm.
Get on Instagram, get rid of all the negativity, get rid
Yes.
of all the mindless scrolling type things. So
Mhm.
for me, I am a big believer in affirmation. So I love any type of account that shows us the quick little quotes to say throughout the day.
Yeah.
I'm Jenna Kutcher's biggest fan, Marie
Oh my
Forleo.
gosh. Yes.
Love them all. I love Jay Shetty.
Mhm.
He's my newest obsession.
Yeah.
Um, those would probably be my top 3 that I'm into right
Podcast,
now.
yeah.
Yeah, and books.
Mhm.
Jamie Lee McKern, I love her and her book Believe It.
Yeah.
There's so many good things out there, and I love reading. I love
Yes.
self-development. I love it all.
Yeah, you have to go check out her Instagram, Facebook. I mean, you're always posting stuff where I'm
Yeah.
like, "Ooh, I needed that in, like, the right time." But speaking of podcasts, one person I'm, like, really into right now, which is so interesting because 'cause I've heard of him, but it's Craig Groeschel.
Oh, I love him.
I'm like,
Yes.
"Dude, like, he's
He
amazing."
is.
He's,
He is.
like,
Yeah.
so sharp,
Yeah, he
like,
is.
everything about him,
Yep.
like,
Yep.
so on point.
He is, and he's non-judgmental,
Yes.
which I feel like is just
Yeah,
so important for being in, like, a self-development world is just to get rid of all judgments,
yeah,
and he's just very accepting, and I love it too. I
yeah.
love him.
I enjoyed us
I
today.
did
How do you
too.
feel? Do
I
you have
feel
okay,
good.
any other last words you wanna get off your chest or
No,
anything?
no, just I thank everybody for listening and watching and following along.
Yeah.
I love what you're doing, Danielle. I love
Thank
what you
you.
and Michael are doing for the community. So keep
Thank
it
you.
up. Like you said, big things are to come.
Oh my gosh, thank you. I appreciate it. So, you guys, that concludes our podcast today. So, if you're listening on the audio version, I truly appreciate it. I encourage you to share this episode with someone. I'm telling you, someone is in need to listen to this. There are women out there trying to overcome the challenges in the workplace. So, please share and rate and review. And if you're watching the video version, thank you for tuning in. This week's Behind the Spotlight podcast. Thank you guys for tuning in.